So, good evening, everyone. I'm Dr. Apurva, and a very warm welcome to the session 8 of our Wednesday Scholarly on the series of How to Write a Paper. And today's session is on ethical use of artificial intelligence in scientific manuscript preparation. This online academic series is by Journal of Psychiatric Spectrum Committee, along with Indian Psychiatric Society Karnataka chapter. So, today's session, the speaker is Dr. Manik Singh, and the chairperson for today's session is Dr. Suresh Baramat. So, if it is okay, I would put up Suresh sir's slide, and can Vijay sir please
Yeah,
introduce him? Vijay sir is, of
yeah,
course, as everyone knows, our honorary editor.
yeah. It'll be my pleasure to introduce my friend, um, Dr. Professor B.M. Suresh, Dr. Suresh Badamat. He is a professor, is currently a professor of psychiatry, Department of Psychiatry, head of forensic psychiatry unit, also head of telemedicine center in NIMHANS. He's the chief of Unit 5, adult psychiatry, also currently chairperson of the psychotherapy training committee. Is also consultant in community psychiatry and in charge of legal aid clinic in NIMHANS. In addition to his academic credentials, he has authored just only 433 scientific articles. Only probably handful. 433 is a very handful, I think. Scientific articles in index journals. His H index is 54. I think it's 54. I-10 index is 55% recently. So its H index is 55 and I-10 index is 211, and is serving editor as editor for 19 books. Has committed to knowledge dissemination and education in medicine and psychiatry. He has received prestigious Professor R. Raghuram Distinguished Young Teacher Award and Sir C.V. Raman Young Scientist Award for Medical Sciences for the year 2015-16. Passionate about knowledge, sharing knowledge through social media. Who doesn't know this? He's running a YouTube channel and almost crossed 50,000, I think I would say, subscribers. And that's his, the username or the login name. I think not login name. The link to join his channel. Uploaded about 620 educational videos. I think this is an old one. You must have got more than that. Videos specifically designed to benefit healthcare professionals. Without much delay, I would like to welcome Professor Suresh Banamat to chair the
Namaskara.
session.
Namaskara.
And over back to Apurva.
Thank you, sir. And I think just to add on a little bit from my side also, worked very closely with Dr. Suresh Badamat, and even during my MD, and not just me, I think across the country, people have learned forensic and community only through sir's videos. So everybody knows Suresh. I don't think sir needs any introduction. Next, I would like to introduce Manik. Sir, if it's okay, shall I introduce, or Badamat sir, would you want to introduce Manik? Anything
Go
is all
ahead,
right.
ma. Apurva, go ahead, ma.
All right, okay, sir. So Manik is a very dear friend of mine, and he has completed his MBBS, MD, fellow mental health education from NIMHANS, and currently he's working as an assistant professor in Telemanis. Also, he's working in the NIMHANS Digital Academy Telemedicine Center in the Department of Psychiatry at NIMHANS. So it shows that he is, of course, one of the best chosen speaker for the topic for today. He's extremely actively involved in the technology and anything related to technology, AI in psychiatry. Calls himself an integrated psychiatrist with a flair for technological advancements in psychiatry, with his obvious areas of interest being digital mental health, forensic, neuropsychiatry, academic psychiatry, transitional psychiatry, mental health of youth, and the current upcoming requirement of LGBTQIA population. He has also been awarded the best essay and has been invited as a speaker by the World Psychiatry Association and WSP for a multi-generational conversation on AI informed psychiatric training and education in 2024. He was also awarded the prestigious EFPT Menta Overseas Fellowship to attend the EFPT Forum 2021 in Brussels. He's had a short-term studentship from ICMR grant of 10,000 on successful and had a successful completion of research project in 2014, and he has had multiple platform presentation awards across national and international presentations since almost a decade. So we are very lucky to have you here, Manik. Thank you so much for agreeing to do this for us. I would request you to share your screen, and then maybe you can start the presentation for
Yeah,
today.
thank you. Thank you, Purva.
Okay,
It's
so
gonna,
how we would
yeah.
go about is that Manik will start the presentation, and anybody who has any questions, you can put it in the chat box, and after that, we'll have discussions. Does that sound okay? Okay, so over to you, Manik and Suresh, sir.
Right. So if you can hear me, I'm just going to start today's session. Thank you, Purva, for introducing me. Thanks, Dr. Vijay, for giving me this opportunity to talk about something I'm really passionate about. So let's just without wasting further time, let's just get into it. So good evening, everyone. I'm going to today we're going to discuss one of the most pressing issues facing
Manik,
academic
Manik,
research, which is
Manik,
the ethical use of.
Manik, आपका audio is there is some disturbance in the audio.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
You can speak now.
Is it better now, sir?
Yes, this is absolutely fine.
Yeah. Is it better?
This is best.
Perfect.
Excellent. Go
Thank
ahead.
you. Perfect. Right. So, good evening, everyone. Today, we are going to discuss one of the most pressing issues facing academic research, which is the ethical use of AI in scientific writing. So, this is not about whether to use AI, it's about how to use it responsibly, transparently, and in ways that preserve scientific integrity. So, let me just. Okay. Yeah, let me start with a striking fact. So, in 2024, Nobel Prize in Chemistry was awarded to researchers from Google DeepMind for AI-driven protein structure prediction. So, this is not a prize for AI per se, but it is a prize for researchers who used AI as infrastructure. But here's the paradox: that same year, or probably just the year before that, over 10,000 scientific papers were retracted. So many involved AI misuse. They used fake citations, fabricated data, undisclosed AI authorship. So what we're basically witnessing is a fundamental shift. AI is no longer just helping us write emails, which we did in probably 2022, but now it's accelerating discovery in material science, drug development, protein engineering. It's lowering barriers to coding and data analysis. So what the critical question which we face today is, where do we draw the line between AI as a tool and AI as an author? And that's exactly what we're going to explore next. So let's look at the current state by numbers. Again, this is not hypothetical. In 2023 alone, like we discussed, 10,000 papers were retracted. So that was a record year for AI. 8,000 of those were from just one publisher, which was Hindawi. So mostly these papers were produced by what we call as paper mills using AI to produce fake research. So when researchers analyzed, so there were 19,000 manuscripts which were analyzed, and they found that 1 to 3% had used ChatGPT for writing, but without disclosure. I mean, it might sound like a very small number, but what it represents is thousands of papers. So this hallucination problem is severe. So this is one very interesting study which found that ChatGPT fabricated 28 completely non-existent references out of the 178 references which are used. That's 15%. And then another 69 which with instead international research. So these aren't future risks. So the fundamental question here is, can AI be an author? So the answer unequivocally is no. And there's universal consensus on this, by the way. Every major publisher, Nature, Science, Elsevier, you name it, every ethics body, ICGME, ICMJE, COPE, WAMI, everybody, agrees on one thing, that it cannot be an author. But this is not just because AI is not human. It is something more. It is about accountability. So, when you read about the International Committee of Medical Journal Editors, they have 4 criteria for authorship. So let me show you why AI fails all 4. First is the conception and design. So to be an author, you must contribute to the conceiving, study, or designing it. AI cannot form genuine research questions. It basically what AI does is it basically predicts what might come next based on training data. Second is drafting and revision. So authors must critically revise work for important intellectual content. AI, like we discussed, does not think critically. It basically generates statistically probable text. Third is final approval. So authors must approve the final version. AI has no capacity to review, understand, or consent to publication. And the fourth and the most crucial is accountability. So the authors must be accountable for all aspects of their work. This means being able to respond to critiques, defend methodology, correct errors, and take responsibility if something goes wrong. So AI, unfortunately, cannot do any of this. And like how Dr. Suresh will also tell you, AI has no legal standing. You can't sue ChatGPT. You can't take ChatGPT to court. You can't take any AI to court. It can respond to peer review. It can't or not. It happened in 2023. Researchers today. So I would want you to think of AI of more as a microscope. A microscope is obviously essential to your research, but you can't list it as an author, right? So the same principle basically applies here also. And just since I work with Dr. Bada in forensic psychiatry, let me walk you through the most famous AI legal disaster to show you how exactly AI hallucination happens. So this is a very interesting case of somebody called Roberto Mata, who had sued Avianca Airlines after being hit by a metal serving cart on a flight. So ideally, this would have been a routine personal injury case, but it has become a landmark case for all the wrong reasons. So this lawyer, whose name was Stephen Schwartz, he needed to do some basic research on, the Montreal Convention, basically the treaty which, governs the international airline liability. So his firm used a legal search engine which is called Fast Case. But the problem with that engine was it did not have federal cases. There were very limited federal cases. So that guy, like most of us, very enthusiastic, he thought, I'm going to go and try ChatGPT. So what he did was he tuned to ChatGPT, thinking it was a super search engine, and he would get all his responses from there. So he used ChatGPT for cases supporting his argument. So ChatGPT gave him, he was very happy. ChatGPT gave him 6 cases. He cited them all in his brief. So the opposing counsel, immediately flagged it. He said, we can't see any of those cases. So, and this is where it gets worse. So the judge, basically orders him. He says, you provide me copies of the cases. So what this gentleman does is he goes back to ChatGPT and asks, are these cases real? And ChatGPT says, yeah, of course, that exists. And it exists in, this XYZ thing. You can look it up and you can give it. And for the document started generated. Look, it was fake to pay fine. There was manual. So this case basically established the precedent. You cannot blame AI for your failures. You are responsible for everything you submit. So that being said, so these aren't isolated incidents in law. We'll see, and I'm going to walk you through, very, cases which has happened in our, medicine also. So let me show you real papers which were retracted or corrected because of AI misuse, in medicine or in scientific, the realm. So there was a paper in Resources Policy Journal where the authors, left very obvious ChatGPT generated text. So unfortunately, it was, not looked up by the editor. The peer review kind of went through the peer review also, but journalists at a Wired magazine had spotted it. So they had spotted that, there was AI fingerprints left. There were translations which they had just copy pasted and they forgot to remove, certain things from the AI. So there is a very interesting radiology case reports also, which was a medical imaging paper, which was removed entirely after AI-generated content was discovered. And my personal favorite, I've given a small image there, I'm sure you can see it, is a paper in Frontiers in Cell Biology. This was retracted after this was a paper which was retracted about spermatogonial stem cells. Why? Because it included an AI-generated image of rats with anatomically impossible and frankly hilarious enormous reproductive organs. So this event absolutely went viral on social media and the journals reputation so, you know, there are telltale signs how most to delete for it. Here's a draft. You even do it and they submit it. Better at catching this. Multiple tools, which this, what you can expect is if you use AI carelessly, you will definitely get caught. Maybe
Manik, your network is very poor. I think you need to stop the video because your audio is also breaking too much.
If you stop your video, Manik, if you stop your video, I think your bandwidth may go up and you may be able to
You're
speak
muted.
better.
Manik, you're muted.
You switch off your video. Your video.
You have a low bandwidth, I think, Manik. वीडियो बंद करो मानिक.
Ah. Why have you muted, Manik?
it's getting muted. Can you see my slide, sir?
Yeah, we can see your slide. We
Okay.
can hear also. Go ahead.
Okay.
Just go back 2 minutes before and start. 2 minutes before. You start with this slide. Beginning of this slide, yes. So I think you're still struggling with the. Why can't you remove the Bluetooth and speak directly to the laptop?
Okay. The retracted tables, no? So we'll start with the retracted. Sorry. Yes, sir. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, but it's breaking up in between. You go back one slide. Yeah.
Hello.
You can start from this slide. You can start from this
Right.
slide from the beginning.
Okay.
Just keep asking us whether we are hearing okay.
Yes, can you hear me now? This slide was basically about a legal case which has happened in the US. So it was about Robert Mata versus Avianca Airlines, which was hit by the Robert Mata was a person who was hit by a metal serving cart on a flight. So it was a routine personal injury case, but it became a landmark case for all the wrong reasons. That's what I was telling you guys. Can you hear me now? Like, is it fine?
Yeah,
Perfect.
it's
Great. Great. So I'm going to very briefly tell about this case. I'm not going to go in as much detail as I did last time. So this lawyer, what he did was he needed to research for this case. He used ChatGPT. ChatGPT gave him wrong, cases. So then he presented the same thing to the judge. And that time the other lawyer said, we can't look up these cases. We've not, the opposing counsel flagged it. They said we were not able to, we can't see any of these cases. So he went back to ChatGPT, asked ChatGPT again, can you give me details about these cases? ChatGPT very happily generated fake judicial opinions, complete with fake quotes and fake judge's name. He again resubmitted it to the judge. So after these cases, the result was that the judge had fined him $5,000 fine and a mandatory apology letter. And and there was international news coverage on this about his incompetence. He was fired from his job. So what I want to establish here is that you cannot blame AI for your failures. You are responsible for everything you submit. So again, these are not isolated incidents in law or other fields. It happens in our scientific field also. So, I mean, let me show you papers that were retracted or corrected because of AI misuse. So the first one is, a paper on resources policy journal where the authors left in obvious AI ChatGPT generated text. It was again spotted by journalists at Wired magazine. The authors had to apologize, saying it was an unintentional mistake during language correction. And what had happened was basically they had just copy pasted ChatGPT content and forgot to remove it. It has also happened in surfaces and interfaces where clearly AI generated introduction and summary were used. They had got full retraction. And then my personal favorite is the uh, so my personal favorite is the one on, I've given a small image also there, is about the frontiers in cell biology. So this was a retracted paper about the spermatogonial stem cells. So why it was retracted is because it had included a AI-generated images of rats with anatomically impossible and frankly hilarious enormous reproductive organs. So the image went viral on social media. The journal's reputation took a hit. There are telltale signs which you can see. So the authors forgot to delete phrases like "as an AI language model" or "regenerate response" or "certainly here's a draft." The responses that you see initially when if you've used any of these generative AIs. So journals are getting better, and Dr. Vijay will agree with me, and he'll tell you that there are a lot of things which the editors are doing these days to spot AI generated content. So the lesson here is, if you use AI carelessly, you will get caught. Maybe not immediately, but eventually. So, I mean, it's let's just get a little bit practical. So, what are the actual rules which you need to follow? So, first, every major publisher agrees on these points. AI cannot be an author. This is something which we've discussed. Disclosure is mandatory. Transparency is essential. So, and you are fully responsible for, the accuracy of whatever you've submitted. So, where do you disclose? Usually, in the method section or acknowledgements. So, every journal has, their dedicated AI disclosure sections, or they will write in the instruction to authors where you need to do it. But the most important question is, what do you disclose? So, you disclose four things. One is which tool. Don't just say AI. Specify ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini, whatever tool you've used. The version of it is again important. So because AI models change rapidly. So ChatGPT 4 March 2023 is something which is more specific. So how you used it is also important. So I used it for grammar improvement, for formatting references, and the extent which sections were affected by it. So some of these journals even go further. Science magazine even they expect you to write the actual prompts which you've used for full transparency. And what's something critical here is that many people don't know is if you're asked to review a manuscript, I'm sure a lot would be reviewers, you cannot appeal a violation of confidentiality, and later it belongs to the journal. So uploading it to ChatGPT means sending it to OpenAI server. That's unethical and potentially illegal. So one area of controversy is AI generated images. Springer Nature currently prohibits them entirely because of unresolved copyright issues, and others handle it case by case basis. So the bottom line is, before submitting anything to the journal, go to their website, find the instruction for the authors, read the AI policy. Trust me, it's not identical. Every journal has a different AI policy. So, all right. So let's make it even more practical. So I'm going to give you, four templates that you can literally copy paste. So the template one is the most basic. So use this if you have used AI minimally, maybe just for grammar, checking for minor edits. You state the tool, the purpose, and you take responsibility. So this again would fit in wherever the journal wants it to fit in. Usually the journals, like we discussed, have a acknowledgement section or a AI disclosure section. So template two is when you've used AI for a specific function like formatting references. Notice I'm being very specific. So again, ChatGPT 4 released on March 2023 because, like I said, AI evolves. These models will change. So and you have to verify all these citations independently, and you have to write there that these citations were verified independently. So template 3 is the gold standard. This is the most comprehensive disclosure. You're stating the tool, the version, exactly what you used it for, what percentage of content was affected, and how you verified it, and what you did not use it for. Plus, you're offering them to provide the full conversation transcripts and supplementary materials. So, and some people would ask, this is too much. Why are we giving them so much information because, it is important. So my advice is to, err on the side of over disclosure rather than. So it is better to be overly transparent than to have someone discover undisclosed AI use later. So as people, so if later someone asks you or anybody questions you about it, you have a proof of exact AI. So let's just talk about when AI use is appropriate. So we would call it the green zone. So, according to me, language and clarity improvements are the most defensible use cases, especially for non-native English speakers. If you're brilliant in your field, but English is not your first language, AI can level the playing field for you. And the senior authors would tell you initially it was a big hassle for people from the the Far East, that it was difficult for us, and the editors would say that your English is not up to the mark. But then using it to fix grammar, improve sentence flow, polish tone, that's a legitimate use. You're not changing your ideas, you're expressing them more clearly with this. So technical formatting is another green zone. Formatting references, making tables, and your even citations. That is something which is acceptable and which you can do. So, and writing process help. AI can suggest you how to structure your paper, how to transition between sections, how to improve paragraph coherence. This is all legitimate use. So here's the key principle. AI basically augments your intelligence. It is, it assists your expertise, it enhances your communication, but it does not replace your thinking. So what I would say, or what I tell my junior residents also, think of it as like a copy editor. So copy editor makes your writing clearer and more polished, but they don't write paper for you. The same is with AI. So everything in this green zone is appropriate that make you more efficient without compromising integrity. So between the clear green zone and the clear red zone, there is a gray zone also. So these are areas where the AI might be helpful, but carry significant risks. So, how we would put it is, and the discussion which I've had with Dr. Badama is, the introduction and discussion sections. So AI can definitely help you structure these. They can suggest you how to frame your work, how to improve flow, but these sections require you to synthesize literature and position your work in context. See, AI would not know the literature like you do. If you use AI here, you need heavy revision and verification for every claim. So the risk is AI might invent context. It might claim that previous study has shown that X, when it actually has not. You are responsible for accuracy here. So even in literature synthesis, AI can definitely help organize papers into themes, but but you have to be very careful about citation hallucination risk, which is massive here. So every single reference AI mentioned must be manually verified. You have to go on Google, you have to go on Google Scholar, you have to see everything. Not just that it exists, but also you have to see what it actually says. It might be, relevant in some other context. That paper might exist, but it might not be saying what the AI says it is actually saying. So, I've actually seen cases where AI cites a real paper. I'm a reviewer for a couple of journals, and those you can make out that this is being written by AI, or this the AI will cite that real paper, but it completely misrepresents its findings. So this is actually worse than a fake citation because it's actually much harder to. But if you're caught, like we discussed, it's going to be a hassle for you later. So hypothesis generation is again, used for brainstorming, using it to talk your ideas. I mean, that's a fine start to be novel, and you must connect it properly to existing work. So the risk here is AI suggests something that's already been done or something that sounds plausible, but it is scientifically invalid. It is on you. You can't blame the AI later, like how we discussed. So again, the golden rule for gray zones is first verify everything independently. Second, disclose the usage. Third, ensure that you can defend every statement without AI. And the fourth is, whenever you are uncertain whether something is in the gray zone or it is in the red zone, I would suggest that, stay in the green zone only instead. So the decision framework is simple here. If you can you ask yourself this question: can I defend this content in peer review without AI? If the answer is no, don't submit it. So similarly, let's talk about the red zone here. So things you should never use AI for under any circumstance. One is data and results. I mean, of course, people will say this is very obvious, but apparently it isn't. So never use AI to generate or fabricate research data. Never use it to create statistical results. Never use it to invent experimental outcomes. Your data must be real, collected through your actual research. Using AI here is scientific fraud, period. I mean, there's no discussion on this further. So, core intellectual work. Don't use AI to write your methods or result sections wholesale. I mean, these sections describe what you did. AI was not there in your lab to know what you did. So it does not know your methodology. You can use AI to polish the language, of course. I mean, your methodology, you can polish it once you've written it, but the content must come from you. Similarly, developing hypotheses, interpreting your data, drawing conclusions, these are the core intellectual contributions of research. That is what makes your work your own. I mean, AI cannot do this for you. Citation and references, we've talked about, you can't trust AI blindly on citations. Don't ask it to, find you papers. It's not Google. It's not for that. Images and figures, again, this is there are a lot of journals which do not accept AI images and figures. There's a lot of copyright infringement issues, and there's still the jury is not out on that. So I consider it, what I've discussed with Dr. Suresh is, this is a red area. Don't make images and publish it as your own doing. So ethical shortcuts is again a most important point. Don't use AI to bypass your own understanding. If you submit work you can't defend, you're committing fraud. You're using AI to plagiarize your ideas. You're committing academic misconduct. So here's the bright line test. If you can't do it without AI, you should not do it with AI. So research requires your expertise, your judgment, your accountability. AI can definitely help you communicate that research more clearly, but that's that. It cannot create research for you. So again, the consequences for being in the gray zone and the red zone are very harsh. So these are real and permanent. Retractions will stay on your record forever. Journal bans effects where you can publish. Your professional reputation is damaged. In legal fields, we've seen, like we discussed, actual monetary sanctions being put. But here's the good news. Proper disclosure has zero negative consequences. It actually demonstrates professionalism and attention to research integrity. So let's talk about something which is very important, and I think for everyone, it's prompt engineering, which is essentially the skill of getting better results from AI tools. I know a lot of people, and a lot of junior residents also come and say that it's frustrating to use AI. We get very poor results. It does not understand, because the problem is you're not using it properly. The problem with it is, you need to think of AI as a literal research assistant. If you say help with my paper, they don't know what kind of help you need. But if you say, review the method sections for grammar, errors, while maintaining formal scientific tone, now they know what to do. So basically, what you need to do is, I will just walk you through the 4 C's which are important. So first is very clear about, don't say, you need to be clear about what you want, improve sentence clarity and paragraph. So give it context, the constraints, set boundaries for it. Fourth, you check, this is non-negotiable, what AI is producing. So again, the bottom line is, the quality of your AI results depend on the quality of your prompts. So like the famous saying is, the garbage in, garbage out. So specific prompts in, useful results out. So let's just see this in action. So let's just I'll show you how to build a prompt step by step. Imagine you're writing a paper about psychosis treatment and your discussion section needs work. So let's see how different prompts produce different results. So first prompt is, you say, improve my discussion. So what is wrong with this is, everything is wrong with this prompt. AI does not know what you're discussing, what journal you're writing for, what improvement it needs, what are your standards. So you'll probably get a generic, useless suggestion, and that is what most people do. So look at the second prompt now. So where we add context. So you say, I'm writing about psychosis treatment, improve my discussion section for a medical journal. This is still better. AI at least knows what topic, what is the audience like, but it's still vague. What specifically needs improvement, what tone, what length, we've not written that. So look at the third prompt now. Now we add constraints here. We specify the journal, the tone, the word count, what to preserve. So this gives AI much cleaner guidance. So you'll get a little bit more decent results with this. So coming to the best prompt, or the fourth prompt which we've written. So this is the complete stone sentence to complex. So we've written clone length, what must be changed. So the focus areas, we talk about transitions, clarity, organization, don't add citations, don't add new claims. So once you tell all of that, so it tells these prompt tells AI exactly what's wrong and what needs to be fixed. So you will get a better response. You'll get the best response from this. But again, the pattern here is layering. So start with your basic task, add context to your field, and about the audience, add constraints and requirements and specifics about what to focus and what to avoid. So each layer makes your results more useful. So don't skip these steps. Don't assume AI knows what you want. Be explicit. So again, I would like you to think of it like giving instructions to someone who's very capable but has no context about what your work is. So you'll have to obviously explain everything to them. So I'm sure if you try this approach with your next AI interaction, the results would be much, much better. But again, you still need to see everything. Even with the best of the prompts, you are accountable for it. So you'll have to, despite of it, you will have to see what it kind of talks. So again, I'll give you a practical framework for ethical AI use. Look at the clarity. You must fully understand what the AI generated. Then control. So you need to maintain intellectual ownership. Can you hear?
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yeah, go
Perfect.
ahead, boss.
So,
Go ahead.
yes, sir. So second is control. You maintain intellectual ownership. AI is your assistant. It is not your co-investigator. You set research questions. You interpret the results. You draw the conclusions. AI can only help you express those conclusions clearly, like how we discussed. It does not create them. You are the expert. AI is basically just the tool. So third is checking everything. Verify everything independently. Everything, every reference, every data claim, every statistical resolution. AI just generate AI. I mean by citation here is disclose. We've discussed it earlier also. You need to disclose what AI you've used, where you've used, how you've used. So, and keep those conversations with you. And the fifth is compliance. Follow all applicable policies of the journal guidelines, which we've discussed before. So again, another important concept here is human in the loop. So this is ICMR's central requirement for AI use in biomedical research and healthcare. So let me explain what this means and why it matters. So first, the definition of what is human in the loop is basically AI must be monitored and controlled by humans at all times. AI cannot work autonomously in medical or research settings. That is what ICMR, ethical guidelines say. So now, what is not allowed under ICMR ethical guidelines? You cannot have a fully automated AI decisions in healthcare. You cannot have it in research. So let me just quickly show you with an example workflow to how to make this more concrete for you. So what is the wrong approach? So you input patient data into AI. AI identifies pattern. In that data, you publish the findings. This violates the human in the loop because there is no human verification, there is no expert validation, there is no conceptual interpretation. What is the correct approach would be you as the researcher define the research question. Asian clinical, they use the finding. Your analysis validate into results in pro-clinical ontology. So you've got an ethical that this AI do this for you, then you cannot go close that what for what and for.
I think
Yet, yes, sir.
we have lost the connection from Manik. Manik,
Yes, sir. I'm back. I
why is it so? It's
don't
going
know.
off very often.
It does not happen usually. I'll have to.
Okay, go ahead then.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you've, should I repeat the slide, or we've gone through this? So
You can, I think we have finished the ICMR human in the loop you have explained.
right, sir. So then we'll just, then we're just finishing up. And then these are the key takeaways from, of what you can take away from today's seminar is, one, AI is a tool. It is not an author. It cannot be held accountable. It cannot be a contributor. So what we discussed earlier, it is like it is your helper. It is a microscope. It is essential to your work, but you cannot add it as a co-author. Then transparency. It is non-negotiable. Always disclose AI use. Be specific about which tool, which version, what you used it for, and what extent you used it. And when you're certain whether disclosure is needed or not, it is better to err on the side of over disclosure. You're never going to get in trouble for being too transparent. So third is verify everything. So the hallucination rate for citations is, like how we discussed, is between 14 to 40, 15 to 40%, and that's massive. So never trust AI in output without independent verification. So remember, you are legally and ethically liable for all AI generated content you submit. You cannot later say ChatGPT told me it was true. It is not a defense which is going to, work anywhere. So four is better to stay in the green zone. We've discussed all three zones: language polishing, formatting, organization. So these are appropriate uses. Data generation, core intellectual work, citation, these are definitely off limits. And I would suggest, it is better to stay off the gray zones also. So five is whenever you're in doubt, disclose and ask. Check the journal policy before you submit. If you're uncertain, email the editor, consult your consult your boss or consult your seniors. It's always better to ask them to face retraction later. And with the final thought is, we cannot compete with AI on speed. That's definitely a losing battle. So where we can compete is on trust, rigorous verification, and human accountability. So that's where our values lie. So this is, basically your professional responsibility and integrity. It is better that you stay informed because policies are evolving. So it is important to maintain integrity because your reputation depends on it, and preserve trust because the credibility of science or itself depends on this. Thank you.
Okay, to summarize what Dr. Manik has clearly said, that you can use AI. Let me be very clear. AI, it can be used only for language purpose, polishing the requirement of, imagine, see, I had been publishing since past 20 years. Uh, whenever we used to submit for European journal, the first comment would be, please have the grammar checked. So that is the nasty comment we used to get from the European journals, but invariably we had to do polishing, ask somebody to go through the grammar. So here, AI plays a very crucial role for the scientists or the researchers or the psychiatrists who are working here to make a grammatical changes, either active sentence or passive sentence, or would you like to make it in a elaborate way or make it very crisp. Suppose if you're asking, invariably if you're sending for European journals, you have to say that please have a reference, please have this redrafted in a UK English format. So it will be, then the people who are reviewing will be able to understand that this in the UK format. But again, if you come back to US, you have to have the US format. English has to be written. So it's basically, it's not banned, but at the same time, you cannot generate everything. It's more of grammar, formatting, language editing. I would put it at that level. To maximum extent, if you know a prompt engineering, if you are able to give a good prompt with regard to tables, if you have done a good table, you can say that this is the table comparing A versus B. By doing this, please provide the results to be written. It will be able to give you, but you need to know how it has interpreted. You need to cross verify it. Without cross verifying, please don't go ahead. If you go ahead, it may hallucinate and you will get into trouble. Keep it for the language editing. That is the best. Yeah. We will start with the question number one. Manik, there is a question. If in a manuscript the title is generated with the AI, or say assistive AI is used to help in formulating the perfect theme, is it considered ethical for a journal? I would put it in a different way. See, the manuscript, whatever you are going to give, the AI will not be able to understand unless you have to give a title and then say, can this alternative titles can be given? See, you have already given your idea. The idea will be given in a different format to the author. So invariably, your idea is there. It is playing with the grammar. It is not a unethical. Suppose if you are asking from the title to the reference, it will become a difficult. Otherwise, I don't think it will be, because the AI will not give you everything. You have to give something. Suppose if I am studying the impact of AI on human health, if that is, then I have to ask the AI, please redraft it and give a impactful title. So it will give you some alternatives and it conveys what you are telling. Then you can choose it, modify it if required. Then it is not considered to be a plagiarism or something. It will be your own idea. It has been giving in a different. So give it in a redrafting in a grammar format. Use it. Don't use it to complete generate. So it's like this. Here, AI should be used for augmenting your manuscript, not artificially generating the manuscript. That is the difference. Here, augmentation is the word I'm using, not the artificial intelligence. So use it very responsibly. Uh, in research, it plays a crucial role, especially for the third world countries and people who have SLD in language. There it plays a major role. And many a time you find it like you have many of Indian researchers, they are bubbling with ideas. But the problem is they will not be able to put those ideas into manuscript. There, if they are able to write all the ideas, imagine today we had discussion on preliminary assessment with the JJ Act. So we wanted to convert into a manuscript. Then we started jolting out all the challenges about the JJ Act and how it is creating trouble in the assessment of preliminary assessment. So we made the points, the challenges, what are the solutions, what are the benefits. We made the points, we typed down our own. Then you start putting into the AI and then generate the grammar, conversation, how you are going to convey to the reader. So that means you have a original idea, the grammar is given. So the first question, I don't think if you are able to give your idea and it is redrafting the title, it's not unethical or plagiarism. The next question you can take, Manik, Anisha's question. Please speak about the percentage of plagiarism allowed for AI content in any journal. Let me put it across to you. Plagiarism is not at all allowed. Let's be very clear. But however, the sentences, see, plagiarism, uh, whatever we have the softwares, it is similarity index. Plagiarism is, I am telling that, like cognitive behavioral therapy, I have invented it. Or Manik Inder Singh founded IPT, interpersonal psychotherapy. That is completely plagiarism. If there is a similarity index of, like, suppose Mental Health Care Act of 2007 is a 17 is a wonderful uh, legislation. If I say that Mental Health Care Act of 2017 will be seen as a similar word across any people who write it. So that kind of similarity index is not considered to be a plagiarism. Plagiarism is taking somebody's idea and telling that it is my idea. That is plagiarism. So you have to be very careful. So similarity index is allowed up to 5%. And legal journals, it becomes more, it is allowed. The simple reason is whenever you are quoting a Supreme Court judgment, you have to quote what is written. If you are quoting a rules, suppose you are quoting a Mental Health Care Act of 2017, Section 25, you have to quote the act, statute. You can't play around there. So invariably, the similarity index increases. So you're not quoting, you're saying Mental Health Care Act of 2017, Section 25 says that. So invariably, this you need to understand. Plagiarism is completely stealing the idea. If you're not stealing the idea and you're giving the credit to the author or the original reference, the similarity index is allowed. So that is what you need to understand. And many a time you may use AI to avoid even the similarity index. The next question you can take, Manik. Unmute.
Yes, sir. Is artificial intelligence assisted translation of non-English studies into English reliable for use in systematic reviews or meta-analysis? No. So this also, if you read the ICJME guidelines, they're very specific, or even what we talked about today. So unless it is being verified, because you can't rely on the machine itself for anything. So unless it is being verified by a, that language speaker, that what it has translated is okay, you should not go ahead and, and rely on what AI has, given you. So what would be best is to have a, if you're looking at Chinese studies, because that's where we have a lot of problem, you have a Chinese co-author with you, let it tell you that, this in English makes the same sense, because you'll basically be looking at the abstract initially and then the whole study. So if the author is telling you, yes, you can go ahead with it, you rely on it. If the author says, your co-author or whoever you are taking help of, who knows that language, says no, then absolutely not.
Dr. Somesh, putting in a simple way, if you are using AI for a Chinese or maybe any other language, meta-analysis or any article, if you are unable to verify their claim, you are saying that they have told. And if that author says, I have not said that, you are quoting wrongly, you are going to be in trouble. So unless you are able to verify the claim, whatever the AI gives, you have every sentence, every word has to be rechecked. Without rechecking, you don't do. That's what the ICMR says clearly. Human in the loop. You cannot blame, sir, I used this AI, I used ChatGPT or maybe whatever Bard or maybe Grok. I am using all those things, but that gave the same result. You cannot blame the AI because that says somebody has to be responsible. Who is that responsible? Whoever uses the ChatGPT or AI. So invariably, you cannot use it. And if something goes wrong, you will be held responsible. So don't do that. I would not use AI for translating. But however, if somebody is able to watch for it, it's fine. Next question. Quillbot के बारे में मानिक.
Yes, sir. Sir, any of these apps, so can we use Quillbot app or for references, Grammarly app for language in thesis? So see, better than Quillbot, you have, EndNote, and there are other good referencing apps. And, that Suresh sir will tell you, and he's been using it for a longer time than I have. So EndNote is a much,
EndNote is the best. I'm using since 20 years.
yeah.
But anyhow, it has to be bought. Lucky we are in NIMHANS. EndNote is the institutional, we have the license. I'm using it. And EndNote is the best till now. And the equivalent one, reference manager, is there. That's also fine. But nowadays, there are many free apps are
EndNote is
available.
there. Yes, sir.
And I have learned EndNote, so I'm very comfortable it. And you can directly draw the references from Google Scholar and various places. And even so, I use that. But anyhow, Grammarly app, yes, for grammar, it's wonderful. Earlier, I used to use grammar before the chat GPT. But now, because invariably, if you are sending to any other journal, our mother tongue is Kannada, uh, I may not be able to communicate my ideas so eloquently to a British readers or a British psychiatrist. So in such a scenario, you may have to use Grammarly. So fine, absolutely fine. No problem in using Grammarly for language editing. About thesis, again, the thesis, you can go ahead, Manik.
Yes, sir. Again, language apps, like we discussed, can be used. Again, it has to convey what you want to convey. Any app or any software which you're using, if it conveys what you are actually wanting to convey, and you can defend it to, the people who are going to be seeing your thesis, you can use it. If you are unable to defend, or if the meaning changes, then it's not a good idea to use any of these apps.
Okay,
The
for
under
language editing, what Manik has said for the paper regarding thesis in NIMHANS, once it crosses 5%, they flag it to the thesis, to the guide. The guide has to say what are the things which have been, because it will give yellow, right? It is a similarity index. If as a guide, I am comfortable telling that yes, this similarity index is because the student has taken paragraph from one article and he's quoting it. This is what he has said. If he is able to say that in under quotes and is able to tell that, the similarity index can be increased. So in such a scenario, in NIMHANS, we keep it as 5% as the similarity index or plagiarism, they say. But invariably, if that is a legal forensic thesis they are doing, they will quote many like they will be quoting many of the statute law. So in that time, the similarity index increases. So it is based upon the guide and the university requirement. Like UGC says that you cannot go more than 90%, 10% something this is. It's a similarity index. It is left to the guide. So you can use it, but for the paper, you have to be very clear. If you are using, you can say that I have used for grammar correction. That's it. Not more than that. Uh, felt like getting the explanation from YouTube channel. That's not a question. What are the potential identifiers of AI-generated text that gets detected by plagiarism detection software? Turnitin and as an AI detected similarity. What data does the plagiarism detection software compares the AI-generated text with? And this question Dr. Rangnath has asked. Dr. Rangnath, if you are there, can you explain the question?
Good evening, sir. So just I wanted to know what in the AI generated text gets detected as AI generated from the editorial reviewer or just checking the similarity index. So from that point, I was interested to know from the AI generated text, there might be certain phrases or particular words, the style of writing, which might be getting detected in the plagiarism software. Especially the Turnitin has got that new feature, which is the additional feature in the Turnitin anti-plagiarism software, where you can check for the AI-generated text. So I wanted to know what in the AI-generated text gets detected as a similarity. The second question was, we usually compare the existing evidences, which are 10,000 plus databases, from where the similarity is checked by the anti-plagiarism softwares. So for a AI generated text, which usually changes from prompt to prompt, from one AI to another AI. So what is that in the software which compares the AI generated text, which, with what data it is compared to?
So that's what AI generated text, it will compare with the another manuscript which is available. So it is a similarity index. Imagine I have written an article on Mental Health Care Act of 2017. It is a boon or a bane. Your Kulkarni is also written an article. My article is published first, and your article comes second, and you will be quoting my some of the references or some of the text in my article you are referencing. Similarity index suddenly goes up. So there, using the language editor, you can change the way I have told. I would have told in active language. You can say in a passive or diplomatic language. So then the similarity index comes down. But if I have made a critical comment about the Mental Health Care Act and I am the first person, you need to give credit to me rather than telling that I have told first. So that is how the comparison occurs with regard to the text. The first question is regarding the data, how the data is compared. That's what I understand, Ragnath.
Yes, sir. So what happens, Dr. Raghunath, here is, see, in what basically Turnitin and other software does is, so we have something called low variance, I mean, if there is low variance in complexity of the sentences, so it looks at the sentence length, sentence structure, rhythm. So see, Turnitin, again, like sir said, so it has, billions of publications which it will compare it to. So human written versus AI, manufactured. So now they are trained AI, Turnitin. Again, this they have said in their white paper how they've trained is they have trained it on data based on how, if Dr. Suresh has written pre 2023, where ChatGPT was not there, papers versus how papers which have been retracted or papers which have used AI, how they write. So it will compare with that. That is the database which it uses. Then you have M dashes, you have these inverted commas which are put in some particular way. Then you have overly formal transitions. You use it will use a lot of words which are specific. So there one of the study actually gives what words ChatGPT or Gemini or other AIs use a lot. So these words they will catch. So that's how they will catch you if you are using those specific words which AI is supposed to use. So that's how it is trained on.
Next question is,
Thank you.
Kulkarni, did we answer your question?
Yes, to some extent.
Any
Because
doubt it's
it's
left
more of
behind,
a
you can
gray
ask.
area. I believe it's more of a gray area because
Yes.
we are still improvising our age detection through anti-plagiarism softwares. I think, I agree with Manik. It detects the hyphen, the length of the hyphen, the style of the inverted commas, what one uses. So usually when people copy paste from the ChatGPT or Gemini or whatever AI, so they usually don't edit the respective punctuations, annotations. So they keep as it is, and like some of the examples he had given, the certainly, all those things, the exclamatory marks, which usually are used in a colloquial way of usually day-to-day routine languages, which are not of that of a highly academic tone. They are not quite fluent and standard for a academic tone. So such words, I also had thought that would be detected through the AI generation detection in the softwares.
See,
Thank you.
yeah, that's you have made regarding the grammar, but how it detects the text is basically the algorithm behind. Invariably, the algorithm behind what you have written and what it has been already been generating. It is like imagine if Dr. Manik Singh starts speaking like a Shashi Tharoor. So Shashi Tharoor language will be a kind of AI based language, which will be eloquent, which has no grammatical errors, and it will be of the out of the world kind of language. When we
Neurological.
write, we will be writing very clearly simple sentences with
Yes,
mistakes, and we combine active language, active sentences with the passive sentences.
right.
So we makes a lot of human error. So nowadays there are AI also available to say humanize the text. You generate
Yes.
a text, and
Yes.
now there are AI which say humanize it, means it will make like a human also. So both are available nowadays. But anyhow,
Yes.
but see, you are trying to cheat somebody by using this. You're cheating yourself. That's the way I can put it across.
Yes. Yes. Yes,
Uh,
sir.
the next question is: can ChatGPT
So,
translation can be
after
verified?
this humanized AI, I think
Hmm.
that should also be reported in the at the end that you have used humanizing AI.
Yeah, that also can be caught because it is also an algorithm based. It
Yes,
will try to see how it is. It
make
has
some
been
mistake.
again, see, it has been trained with human
Text.
writing.
Yes,
So invariably they also can be caught. It's not that it will not caught. See, for a see at the end of the day, like tomorrow Vijay Arbi Shatar is sitting somewhere as editor. He wants to know the research what you did was authentic, your own research. You are not claiming somebody else's research. So that is what we are all worried about. It's not about the language. Language is a means of communication. It is whose idea you are communicating, your own idea or somebody else's idea. That is what the issue revolves around. That is the core crux of the matter in research. Next,
interesting.
sometimes it happens that purely self-written part of an article are quoted as AI generated when checked with the software like drill bit. False positive. What is your comment? There is no doubt what I said. No, it is not considered as a plagiarism. Many a time, your own art. Imagine if I have written an article about maybe OCD, course and outcome, and now I am writing in in another journal. I am quoting from the previous article. It will show as a plagiarism, though I have quoted. So you may have to change the sentence there. So I completely agree with you. It will show it as a plagiarism or a similarity index is very high. See, the difference between a scholarly article and a plagiarism is in plagiarism, you don't quote them, you don't give any reference. A scholarly article is every sentence you are quoting, you are giving credit to somebody else I told. See, today we are sitting here discussing about the research means we are standing on the giants of various scientific researchers. Today we have reached psychiatry means there are many people, millions of scientific research has been done. We are standing on them. It is not many of the time we say this is my own idea. No, that will become plagiarism. So otherwise I completely agree with you. False positives are increasing. That is the reason even as a guide, when I find that similarity index is very high, I will see what are the areas it is saying. It is saying that it is plagiarism. Then I would rather say if the student has quoted, has referred that from somewhere, it is not plagiarism. It is he has just taken the paragraph. So don't, again, that is another one. Many journals do not want you to lift the whole paragraph. You have to reframe the paragraph or redraft the paragraph and quote that paragraph. or the quote that article. So don't steal. Like many a times there have been articles have been retracted even in NIMHANS. One of the well-known researchers article was retracted because his student lifted around 3 or 4 paragraph from some other article. It is almost like 6 or 7 lines paragraph, 3 paragraphs were lifted. So it has to be retracted because they said that you're completely copying that article and putting here in the discussion. So those kind, please don't do it. You have to reword it and quote it. Please, it was a similarity index was very high. It was not a plagiarism because he was able to refer that I am taking from this, but he is taken completely A to Z. That should not happen. So, are there any guidelines on ethics on the confidentiality aspect of uploading data of analysis to ChatGPT and Gemini? Dr. Kiran, this is a wonderful question. There are many legal cases going on in violating the copyrights of various people. Whatever the AI is generating, the photographs, it is copied from various databases. So invariably, there is no answer at this point of time because there are many database of the photographs which the AI was allowed for training. They are selling this, telling that you subscribe to our chat GPT or whatever AI, we will generate you like Dr. Manik Inder Singh generated AI developed concept to show you in the PPT. It will be copying from various other places and it is showing. So it is, we are not giving credit to the original authors. The AI has developed it. So that copyright issue is a big issue now. There are many cases pending in Supreme Court. Even in Indian Supreme Court, they have asked for a personality copyright. Personality copyright means tomorrow Manik Inder Singh should not use AI to generate a Dr. Suresh's video as a YouTube video and he is releasing it. That it's a AI personality, audio, figure, that is the personality, that face, all those, even the body language, the way we do, that is not allowed. So that is the reason they are asking for copyright of a personality nowadays. Otherwise, imagine without asking anybody, you can generate a video of Amitabh Bachchan speaking or telling about a product and we have not paid him, but we are using his photograph, his personality, his audio, that will be considered as a copyright violation. So the currently it will be definitely, the case will be delivered telling that it will be a violation, but still they are discussing. The simple reason is many of the countries do not want to put regulation on AI because AI is getting trained now. When it is training, you put the regulation, training will not occur. If the training doesn't occur, you don't have a good AI. So all the countries are in a AI race. That is the reason the DPDP Act came slow. Rules still been considered because many of these AI companies who are arm twisting with the governments, telling that that country do not have AI related regulation. Why are you doing it? They are training their AI model very well. Why should you regulate in India? So these discussions are going at the policy level. But anyhow, it's not far. Across the world, United Nations, everybody may come together and say, this will not be allowed for copyright. You can use AI, but you need to give credit to the original person. So that was wonderful question, Dr. Kiran. This is a policy based. That is the reason. See, if you look at the DPDP Act, DPDP Act is basically a Digital Personal Data Protection Act of 2023. There, it was a trade-off between innovation versus regulation. AI says that innovation, it doesn't come out of the blue. You need to give something. What you are giving is somebody's copyright you are giving. Then the AI is generating. So if the DPDP Act comes in, you cannot play around with the personal data of many people. So that is the reason it becomes a very difficult. Tomorrow, if you bring in DPDP Act completely and you implement it, the AI innovation in India will go off. So the AI companies will move out of India and they will go somewhere else to train the AI model. That becomes a difficult. So many people do not want to do that. So it's a arm twisting is going on. Hope the copyright issues will copyright will gain the upper hand rather than the AI based innovation. I think we have exhausted with the question, I believe. Suggestion to avoid and reduce plagiarism. Is it by practice we get it? Madam, this is Dr. Rajalakshmi. I think it's more than a practice. If you are writing something and you are using chat gpt and it is not your original idea, look who has written it, give them the credit. Telling that Mr. Manik said this, Dr. Vijay Kumar Arbishatter said this, that will become a scholarly article. Otherwise, if I am telling everything is my idea, it will become a narcissistic and it will be a plagiarism. Rangnath has asked one more question here now. Some reviewers use AI to review submitted paper. It is not allowed. They are very clear. Some of the journals are clearly saying, don't use AI to do review because it may hallucinate and you cannot verify it. What are the risks involved in uploading a paper to AI platform? You are training the AI. You are giving your original thoughts to the AI. So all platform in such scenario, what is the handling editor role in this situation? I would leave it to the editor. What is the role of editor? Dr. Vijay is here. Dr. Rangnath's question is there. Reviewers, many journals have prohibited don't use AI to review an article. Because once you put that article, imagine Dr. Manik has done a meta-analysis and he has submitted to Dr. Vijay Kumar as an editor. Editor has sent it to me. Now I take Manik Singh's article, I'll put it on AI and ask the AI to review it. What I am doing it, I am putting it to a AI. AI will read it and it will get trained. Now that his original ideas will not be original idea. AI has borrowed it. That means you are violating the copyrights of Dr. Manik. If he has come up with a brilliant idea there, AI will take that idea and that will put it into various places. So that is the reason many articles, many journals says that don't allow reviewers to use AI to do review. Vijay, would you like to add?
Yeah, even in the recently concluded course, the workshop rather, in the peer review training workshop, we did mention this very clearly that the peer reviewers are not supposed to upload to AI because then, as you mentioned, it can get detected elsewhere and plagiarism can be, it may be shown as similarity index very high. You're just leaving it to the web. It can go anywhere. And so we don't recommend that. So we are clearly saying not to use AI, and that's why we did do the training, 2 days training in NIMHANS on the 10th and 11th of this month.
Okay. I think we have exhausted with the question, Dr. Vijay. Any other?
And I agree with your the similarity index thing, but it's not just the percentage because that question was asked repeatedly. What is percentage? How much percentage are allowed and other things? It's not like a fixed 5% or 15% or 10%. It's about where and what. If the things are not appearing continuous and it doesn't show as if you are borrowed it from somewhere. Uh, like for example, if there is a systematic review and meta-analysis, that word will get hit so many times. And if there is a long persons with dementia exhibiting behavioral symptoms of and psychological symptoms of dementia, that whole almost that big phrase will get detected easily. So we give leeway for that. And Dr. Rangnath is our expert in plagiarism. He uses filters to remove these things, and he gives the final percentage. How much is the final percentage? So I think that one session will be pending. If Dr. Rangnath can make time and tell us his worked on it. So how to use the filters. Um, Apart from that, I think it's important. The session was very important for us because sometimes I do get doubts whether the way the article has been written, as if it looks like it's pure, good, very good, high quality English. Then I start getting my own doubts. Then I try and get help somewhere, and then I try to detect. But unfortunately, we don't have any AI detection tool as of yet. Turnitin does it. I've spoken to South Zone editor also, because we are not 100% sure about the ability to detect. We probably are not going ahead with that Turnitin AI as of now, but we do have that option available. Turnitin gives both AI percentage as well as similar index percentage. But again, we are not so sure if there is any false positive or false negative. So the South Zone editors and even Sujit, the national editor, also is not so keen at this point in time. So that is something you all can recommend, and they'll take it serious. Back to Dr. Suresh.
I think we have finished with the question. If any uh, delegates wants to ask question, we'll be happy to answer. Otherwise, we can close the session, Dr. Vijay. Manik, would you like to say something? The last bit.
No, sir. I think you've covered it all. The end.
Manik, you are a technical person. Make sure next time when you are doing,
Yeah.
your internet is good,
Yes, sir.
because
This
you
is an
will have.
example. This is a very good example of how how to prepare for your presentation demo shown by Manik. How things can go wrong, and how to still try and continue and finish your presentation. And then he has to assure everyone that he'll send the PPT at least, if bits and pieces have been missed, at least people can look at that.
No.
So
I request Manik to record the video and upload it on the YouTube. Whatever you have said this, make a separate video presentation so it is available for the public to watch, rather than putting this, because there are at least around 8 or 10 times you were off 30 seconds to 40 seconds.
Oh God. Okay, I'll do that. I'll record once.
Okay, because see, they are doing it with difficulty, but anyhow, you can record it somewhere because everything is ready. Let it be available online for people to watch it. That's fine, Dr. Vijay.
yeah, and I also invite a kind of perspective or a viewpoint article on this. I invite definitely that will be good. So Manik, welcome to
Sure.
write and submit.
Okay. Thank you.
Giving
Thank you, everyone.
guidance how to ethically use. That was
Yes.
very good actually. Yeah. Dr. Suresh, you can give it up back to
Yeah, I
Provide.
think that's fine. I think the delegates were very fine. They were patiently listening to us. Over to you. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Manik. Thank you, Suresh sir, for giving us probably one of the most important, actually the present kind of topic in the current scientific world. So thank you, Manik, for explaining it in such a smooth way with a little bit of technical glitches. We would be uploading it irrespective, but once you record it yourself, maybe you can share the cloud details and we will upload the fresh recording also. So thank you, Manik, thank you, Suresh sir, and thank you all the participants. I don't think it was too much of an effort to sit through 1.5 hours because it was actually so engaging, interesting, and extremely useful. So thank you once again, one and all, and I think we can close the session. Very good night.
Good night. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.